Hello, guys. Welcome to another interesting and entertaining edition of the Changing Voices Show. I am your host, Toye Wariboko. In today's episode of the Changing Voices Show, we have in studio a special guest, Port Harcourt's finest, multi-talented, and a superstar, the Prince of Comedy himself, the Prince Hezekiah. Live on set, he is the founder of the Made in Port Harcourt brand. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the Prince himself. Welcome on set, the Prince of the Nigerian comedy industry, Prince Hezekiah himself.
I'm loyal, sir.
How are you doing today?
Fine, sir. Fine, sir.
Welcome and thank you for coming on show.
Thank you, sir.
Our guests have been wondering, a lot of people sending mails that they want to find out stuff and things about you. You have controlled the entertainment space for a while. Tell us about us. Let our guests get to know you personally.
I'm that little Port Harcourt boy who happened to love his city, who strives very hard to see beyond the now, who sees posterity and the future, so to speak. A young man who has done a lot of fightings and research, undergone a lot of oppression because of the dream of making Port Harcourt an headquarters, so to speak.
Okay.
You know, if we're the treasure base of the nation, then we should get what we deserve.
Yeah.
A lot of our youths have been going out there to hustle. It's not bad, because when you travel out of this country, I've been to the United Kingdom for events, and trust me, they did not introduce anybody as all the way from Port Harcourt or all the way from Lagos. Or, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome one small comedian from Akwa Ibom. They don't do that. Be you the biggest comic, be you, they will just introduce all the way from Nigeria, Africa. Let's welcome. They don't mention your city. That is if it's in an international platform. Yeah, I did African Comedy Festival, 2014, in the UK. It was a mixed audience of all African races and tribes. So I came back and I asked myself, like, truly, people going to a particular city to advertise the city, trying to struggle to make it there, it's a start all over. And I went back, I did some research, and I discovered that great men pull the bull by the horn. They don't look for convenient environment to thrive. They fight for the future. They make the statement. I don't need anybody to come on board to help me do that. It's not even the business of the government. For instance, what the government have been doing, fighting for oil companies to drag their headquarters. You know, there's this statement they made that I like so much, that when it's time for drilling the oil, it's a safe place. But when it's time to pay the tax and remunerate into the city, then the city is not safe. That's a demarketing strategy for the city as huge, as blessed as Rivers State and Port Harcourt. So I read about Mandela. South Africa wouldn't be what it is today if not for the sacrifice he paid. So I think I've been paying my sacrifice, and for a while now, it's been up and down, because even the closest person, my left hand would even see what I am seeing.
That's true.
But the truth, the total truth about, as simple as I might put it, the total truth about it is someday people will relocate to Port Harcourt for greener pasture.
That's very true.
As long as entertainment is concerned. So some of us, somebody has to start it the way Lagos started it, you know. In entertainment, outside this place, Lagos has been overhyped.
That's very
so they
true.
don't see Abuja, they don't see Port Harcourt, they don't see Calabar, they don't see anywhere. They see Lagos. That now made Lagos to be overpopulated. At the point they are pushing to different local government, they are even encroaching other states and other cities because more persons are coming. And we didn't see this on time. In years back, when they were doing soaps, and then Nollywood kicked off, in the 90s, you will see that majority of the storylines, you hustle in the village. If you want to make it, you go to Lagos.
City. And Lagos is city.
Yes. So they are
that way they've been marketing Lagos
State. For a very long time. Subconsciously, yes, they've been selling it. We didn't know. While we were selling, if you want thief, go worry, go see thief. If you want people where they bust bottle, if you want people where they fight, or where Port Harcourt to stubborn, that's what we've been selling. Not knowing that we were killing investor space for ourselves.
You see, what you have just mentioned is more of, I'm sorry I cut you in, it's more of what the American film industry, Hollywood does. They don't show you their slums. They take you to Las Vegas. They take you to California, to Miami, the beaches. And then you begin to appreciate America, you want to go there.
True.
Because you feel like everything works. Meanwhile, they have lots of beggars and all that on the streets.
They rob you, as in they will rob you. They pay huge sum of money. I think our government, our government personas and personalities need to borrow a leaf from those persons. I remember which year Akon came into Africa for a summit, and I won't forget that statement. He said, Africa is safer than America. America have more criminalities, but they pay huge sum of the government intentionally, professionally pay huge sum of money to cover every antisocial news that would demarket them. Do you get? So they can still operate within the world power premise. Yeah. So for a Port Harcourt, I'll tell you the truth. In Lagos, you can be robbed, you can get killed, you can get kidnapped, anything happen. But the moment you post, I don't know how they did it, or I don't know how they've been doing it, but the moment you just post, I've just been robbed in Ikorodu, the next counter post from any blog or person will be, Davido just gave birth to a new baby.
So diffuse your stories.
Man, they are telling you the city is successful. Don't come and tell us shit about robbery and criminality. But in Port Harcourt here, 2 brothers were fighting because of Gary, and then one bust bottle. You hear it everywhere.
One dead in Rumosi.
Port Harcourt is not safe. Can imagine a goat just being killed in Rumosi, Port Harcourt. A kitchen got burnt in Job. Oh, what a Port Harcourt.
Rivers of blood. But then again, you would not blame these guys.
And then you that posted that thing, you will come out tomorrow again and still say, now wow, this city, nothing they happen. No. What will happen for you again? You don't pursue people who will make things happen. So our people may not be that. We really do not need, we need it, but you really do not need, as an adult, for them to sit you down and lecture you. You should read in between the lines and see the handwriting on the wall. Our people, I'll tell you the truth, our people are suffering out there. Both in Lagos, Abuja, there are so many of our youths there that they are trying to live the fake life because they want to prove to people down here that they are doing well. You know, when one of my uncles traveled to Lagos how many years ago, he stayed there for 27 years. And when it was time for him to come for his father's burial, one dusty portfolio now he carry come back. After he don't snap for, not be now with social media, that time then snap the photo. Then they mail him.
Exactly. A postcard.
People like if he say, yo, if you this guy, they chop. Burial don't reach now, guy come. I came with a very dusty portfolio with small mint where he go change from market. Carry come show off. When he eat real food, now he confess. Salah, what on
What does that mean exactly?
It's not easy out there.
Oh dear.
We're suffering.
Wow.
So
people here rated him that he was just back from the US. That means everything is good.
He's doing very well to them, man. To them, he's doing very well. So it's they call it fake it till you make it. But at a point, you may not make it. You keep faking it till you die. So you rather faith it than to fake it. So I
That
faith
line
it.
again.
You faith it.
Faith it, not fake
Not
it.
fake it.
Until
I
you
don't
make
believe
it.
in faking it.
Yeah.
You faith it so that I'm faithing it because I am telling you it may not be in my generation, but what we're doing now is we're laying the foundation for people. When I came on board this comedy business, a lot of persons were not there. But now you can see anything that you're doing, if you're selling pepper, for instance, at Hezekiah Housing Estate, then there used to be one or two illiterate women selling bole. You know, they use it to train their children in school. They made it, and as I speak now, Hezekiah Estate is the headquarters of bole.
There's an industry now, the bole industry.
You know,
You understand? And it has a name, a face.
because somebody strived, somebody stood the ground, somebody didn't give up under the rain, under sun, all the hazards, all the you know, whatever. But that's how it should be. You know, you're fighting for something. You don't expect it to always be rosy.
Easy, yeah.
You know, so now we have a lot of comedians because they hear comedians are making it, comedians are doing well. Oh, governor, don't give these people money. Oh, this person don't use comedy, go abroad. Oh, this person is doing well. He use comedy, buy a car, he don't build house. You know, so the success story is what attracts them. So you find out that a lot of friends who resign from other industries like banking, oil firm, and they call you, Hezekiah, how far? I don't join on this thing, you go carry me along. I say, welcome. I say, welcome. But the truth is, you don't expect me to just hold you for hand. You need to define what you want to do. There are comedians that are into the corporate industry alone. There are comedians that are into the social industry alone. There are comedians who are general merchants in the comedy industry. They are the ones who are just strictly for the religious setting. It's huge. It's a very broad industry. You know, you just come in and you have to define what you want to.
Now I'll ask you,
achieve.
That you know, there is a saying that when things get tough, a lot of people tend to realize their potentials or make out a name for themselves.
True.
So I'd ask you, you have been involved in the comedy industry for quite a while. You are a household name.
Almost 2 decades.
How did you get into this business? What prompted you to get into comedy?
At church, at church.
Really?
Yeah, I came out of I came from a very hilarious a family of a very hilarious set of people. And to me, in my family, I'm not even funny. If you meet my late mom, God bless her soul, my dad, my siblings, they are all funny. In fact, the more they give birth to more kids, they are funnier than, you know. So
it runs in the blood.
Yeah, it runs in the blood. So when I came out, in our secondary school days, you know, we used to do this akonaki.
Yeah, a talent on show.
We don't have it anymore. We have it no more because of cultism has brought into the secondary school education system. So, you know, then we used to have secondary school competitions, talent hunting and all that. So akonaki was what brought out the talent in me. I was an actor. I won several awards for my school, Enitona High School there.
Wow.
You know, very serious actor. And, you know, at the point Nollywood came, we started watching movies to see, okay, this is what they do actually. You know, get bigger screen and all that. So I strived. I was aiming to go into the, you know, acting industry. When I came out, I actually started. We started the so-called AGN now.
Yeah.
The Port Harcourt brand. I was small, but I'm a founder.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
We started it as NAG, Nigeria Actors Guild. It was later redefined to Actors Guild of Nigeria. Then we were going to Aba for meeting.
Okay.
We were under Aba district. You know, from Port Harcourt we'll go there. To Aba. They were oppressing us until we decided to, you know,
launch your own chapter here.
Our own chapter. We started at Craft Center and all that. We were young. You know, those of us bust out. Some of us met ourselves like our seniors and our peers, our mates, like, no, Nakonaki, no, as they do have Nakonaki. So this acting will die here. You know,
and they tell you.
So I did 1 or 2 little movies then, did several auditionings and all that. So it was meant to be me going into the acting industry. I had a theater. Then, as I came out of school, I said, no, this acting thing not going to die. And why would they wait for the movie, they waka? Let's still be doing our stage stuff.
Performances.
So I had a theater called Liberty Production. I was the founder, I was the director, president and all that. So we had people, some of my boys, let me use that word. I don't like using those words. But some of my boys, a lot of them are graduates of Theatre Arts Uniport. Some graduated from Uniben. Some went to Ibadan. A lot of them, some are directors of movies now. If I mention some, you'll be shocked. But that acting thing is in me, and I dance, choreography and all those things. So we're doing those things in church. We're going to represent River State. When I was a Redeemed Christian Church of God, as teenagers, we were representing River State in Lagos, winning trophies for them, coming back. Sensational Bamidele.
Yes, very well.
Was one of us. Jesus Boy and the rest. Those days, we plenty. We were representing River State as teenagers. We were doing well. Until we went for a concert, and the MC wasn't there. So the concert was like, a bit delayed because of the MC that was not there. And I got upstage. I asked my pastor, and then he said, "You sure?" I went upstage and just usual, using things around the environment and mimicking one or two persons. And that was it. From that day, in fact, from my church, I started anchoring concerts. They said I should try a wedding. I did. It was okay, like that. That was how it started. That was how comedy. So I keep telling people, I didn't find comedy. Comedy found me. Comedy found me because.
But were there challenges? Were there things that at some point wanted to turn you back? Like, were there anything that tried to upset your flow in the business?
Yeah, because for every professional or professional industry, there is definitely a professional ethics that you should embark on, that you should apply. You're good naturally, you're an artist, a drawing artist, or how do you call them now? You are, even as a baker that knows how to cook naturally or bake, you still need some etiquettes that you need to learn professionally, skills and one or two things that will, give you that touch of professionalism, and, clean you up, and then when you come out, you'll be a bit presentable. Okay. So at a point, it got to that point, I was having it my way naturally. Funny, good. That was natural until, stage after stage, stages started beckoning until I got to points where, the challenges of, no, he's not good enough. No, he need to work on himself. Started coming to play. Okay. So at that point, I now fell back to research, discoveries, rediscovery of myself, amendment and arrangements, and polishing. Beautiful. Started coming to play. So there are things I'll say now that some persons may not be able to say that have not experienced what I've experienced. They are not up to my, should I use the word standard or level?
Or class.
Or maybe. Class. And there are things they will say that I can't say. Nothing that happen, I won't die. Now for a person who never see money.
Exactly.
Person who doesn't see money. Fly past if we go. You remember a bank account.
You'll be very conscious.
Yeah, so there are people who come up and say anything. They will let the person go because
it's of that class.
No worry, in a small beginner, no anything they do. Once you get on the limelight and things that comes out of your mouth started counting, you begin. That's where professionalism starts from.
And your personal brand begins to matter.
Because they take anything you say seriously. And before you know it, there are some jokes that I tell and I can crack now and it will become something else in the society. Yeah. So I will just avoid. There are some arrangement and procedures of a joke that I also want to crack, but the build-up will cause the issue. You know, so all those things are part of the things that we face as challenges while growing up. As you go next level,
Yeah.
So as you climb, you keep facing
More challenges.
those,
So
those
there's not an end to challenges.
No, you
You
can't.
face it as you grow.
No, you won't.
You know. So now
They gave
now,
backlash to this guy recently now. What's his name? Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
Dave Chappelle did his gig, his event, as his comedy, stand-up comedy special. And it didn't turn out well. He did his thing as Dave Chappelle that he
should
is.
do.
But it didn't turn out well because of the society now. Things have evolved. You know,
So one of the challenges comedians face is actually evolving with your audience.
yeah.
Because they are growing, and so what you were before may not be what appeals to them now. You see? Now I will ask another fundamental question, and this is in regards to you where you are now and the growing generation coming behind. You see, because of your exposure locally and internationally and experience in the industry, you have been able to polish yourself, make a brand out of yourself that people want to associate with. Corporate bodies want to associate with.
Yeah.
Now, these younger ones who are coming, how much grooming do people like you in the industry give to them? I'm asking because if you look at someone like Alibaba,
Yeah.
Alibaba is a household name in the country.
Okay.
Alibaba has mentored, groomed successful brands like Basket Mouth, AY, and recently the Aproco guy from Port Harcourt here. Now, people like you who have made name, who are in the industry, still very young, with lots of years to go by. What is your contribution to the industry?
You just mentioned names,
Yes.
but I'll sound a bit technical in my response.
Okay.
There are people amongst all the persons or the names that Alibaba has helped to groom and mentored that didn't make it to the limelight.
That's very true.
So you know, growth at the end of the day doesn't depend on the man who mentored you.
That is true also.
It depends on you, because from napkin and spoon feeding, the child grow to the point where they feed themselves.
Yes.
So at the point, for me, my kind of person, I don't blow my trumpet. But those who are in the industry know how far I have groomed some persons who are big names. Now, if I mention them, because of course your prodigies should, or your protege should be bigger than you.
That's the supposed way it should be.
Yeah, that's how it should be. You get. I don't expect to keep growing better than
your proteges.
my offsprings or my proteges. Do you get? So for me, it's not something I'll begin to say, okay, James was from my loins, my groins. Andrew was my boy. I don't do that.
Oh, okay.
Yes, people push me to do it, but I don't do that.
Oh, okay.
I have my reason. You don't take the place of God in the life of a man.
Strong.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And he who lights another man's candle, his own never goes off. So some people keep asking some question. Whenever this talk comes up, that's why I use technical ways to respond. Some people say in the form of humility. No, it's not form of humility. It's the truth. It's the truth. Whether you like it or not, what will be?
Will be.
It will definitely be. If you light another man's candle, your own will not go off. So, apart from the fights and the challenges and the politicking and whatever, cartelling and all what sort that goes on in the industry, right? People keep asking, as long as you have been in this industry, as someone who has made up his mind to fight to grow a Port Harcourt brand, and with all the oppressions, you're still there. What's the secret? No be juju. Yes, na God though, but no be juju. There are things I do in the secret that I don't come in the open to talk about. Those are my strengths for sustainability. Those are the things that keeps my relevance. Open and pure heart. There are people I help. I don't come out to announce that I help them. If I blow the trumpet and say, all right, I might blow whistle. If he knows they don't pass through Hezekiah, come out. If you see people, you go run. But I'm not that kind of person. Because you're taking glory to yourself. If you start that now, you're taking glory to yourself. Allow anybody to sing your praise. The ones that have stayed with me, that have undergone my tutelage, my mentorship and all that, they know I don't like those praises.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I don't. They know now. They know now. I'll tell them personally, say, no, do. You know why? You know why? A get person if it hates me somewhere, when no say be my pikin, they go hate you.
That is very true.
You go just adopt enemies for no reason. So just grow your grow. Respect who you supposed to respect. Do your thing. May you not go buy problem where you're not supposed to buy. But when bell ring, we know, everybody know our house. This business that we're doing is a boss. Everybody know in bus stop. We just a drive. So for the sake of surviving an industry and saving the face of a particular drive, you know, Alibaba has tried. He has done beyond. Sometimes I liken him to some in a religious setting. You know, we started from the church, so I keep saying, if Pastor Chris Oyakilome, who single-handedly opened a studio, Love World Records, and raised all the superstars that gospel has always had, if we had at least 5 of Pastor Chris Oyakilome, gospel music would not be where it is today.
That's very
to be
true.
bigger than where it is. But you find out that a lot of churches may not have his kind of dream, but all the stars he has grown, they are using them.
Exactly.
And they have the capacity to build theirs, but they don't. They're not seeing what he's seeing.
And now this makes me ask you this question also. Very recently, after our homeboy, Burna Boy, won the Grammy and put Nigeria and our music, Port Harcourt as it were, in the global map.
Global map, yeah.
The government of the state was all over him, and even some of the entertainers in the state. And as per their way of contributing to the industry, gave out some largesse to these entertainers. And I understand you were one of those that benefited from that largesse.
Gracefully.
Now, I'm going to ask this. Is it enough to just give a few persons the largesse and make them happy? Or it will be better to build an infrastructural system for the state entertainment industry so that beyond those who have benefited from the largesse, a lot more people can enjoy and grow, meet a standard and benefit from it?
If you ask me if it's enough, for me, I would say no. Of course, we all know that generally you say it's not enough.
At all.
Even Oliver Twist knows it's not enough. But prior to that Burna Boy thing, okay, prior to the Burna Boy homecoming concert and everything that took place, including the largesse, the gifts that the governor gave to us and all that.
Yeah.
Prior to that time, a lot of us have been, complaining. We've been saying a lot of things like, come on, we wish this governor can, with all his strides, giant strides in development and infrastructure, politics and all that, we wish he can just cite entertainment and know that, man, this area is another force to reckon with that will also rub off mutually between the industry and himself.
Exactly.
But that day, I don't think the governor stood up or took his bath, came out of his house to that event to come and share money. No, I'm not sure. According to him, I still have the clips. He was overwhelmed with the unity amongst, let's skip, I'm not a politician. I'm very apolitical. People who know. But to say the truth, our governor is one of the few men who fight a core Port Harcourt fight.
That's true.
He fights a Port Harcourt fight to the core. And that's one thing that if there's a word like this man or you like this, but that's the one aspect of him that makes me like him. Because we share in the same dream, you know. You're seeing beyond the now, the today. You're seeing tomorrow, like you're seeing, okay, he will always scream. Whenever you see him want to talk on the TV, he will say, we are not second fiddles. Port Harcourt is not, you know, we're not second class people. We are these, they don't dare, you know, like, I always applaud him for that. You know, this guy, man.
Standing up for his own.
That's what he's supposed to be. That's a leader speaking for us. You know, if you fight my people, I fight you, that kind of like. He makes you believe that we are giants, yet treated like ants. But we are. We have all it takes. We just need the platforms and all that. We have all it takes, the talents, the whatever. We just need, I keep telling some of my colleagues, if MTV has a branch here, Africa Magic has, if we have those facilities and those...
Yeah, domiciled here.
Maoga, nobody go Lagos. Nobody go like, few persons will go flex. But the real creatives here, they will thrive and they will do well. And the world globally will see things and they will know that we have it. So for me, creating a structure for the entertainment industry at large, that's left for both the politicians, the government, and the Ministry for Information, Culture and Tourism to answer. I'm not a politician. I don't work with the government. It's not my duty to defend or speak. But for what he did, for the few that he did, it's huge, and the impact was felt afterwards. In my own corner, of course, it was a booster for me. It was a serious boost for me because I was already planning my event before then. Okay. And I did the first edition of that brand, that particular made in Port Harcourt. Because I was doing Funny King and other brands until, you know, mainstream fight, they keep fighting for some reasons. And I said, okay, I could attach my city name to my brand. Since Wizkid is doing Made in Lagos. Yes. And it's touring everywhere with the Lagos brand. Made in Lagos in London, Made in Lagos in America, Canada. So fine. We could push Port Harcourt to that point, man. We could say Made in Port Harcourt in the UK, Made in Port Harcourt in America. Yeah. There are Port Harcourt people spread abroad everywhere. That should be proud of where they come from, right? Tell them the Port Harcourt story. Sell your Port Harcourt positively. And also, you know, make one or two films about the negative aspect that people should learn to change from. So that's been the dream and the drive. So I said, this is a booster. Let's add it to making the event bigger than what we were planning. Now, that particular event took a lot of youths off the streets. Yeah. Took Port Harcourt to a particular point where people were proud of. Places where legs haven't gotten to. That brand took the name down there. You know, because it went global. And trust me, if there is one thing I borrowed from when the governor made this pronouncement, what he said was, it's high time we show people. He was referring to Burna Boy. Come home. All the Port Harcourt people that always go out there, make sure when you finish, come home. Groom more people. Make Port Harcourt know. Make them know that Port Harcourt is great. You see? So that word I slept with that word.
It's been resonating in your mind.
In my memory. So I like, no, man, this is the biggest boost anybody can give to anybody. So when I sat with my management and I said, people go ask questions. Some of my friend said, "Oh boy, I don't reach where you go marry, man. Carry this money, go."
That brings us
Because
to
when I go
something
do
very
this, I
important.
said, no,
Hezekiah.
I don't go ever do. Let me invest in this industry first. Make the statement.
Okay.
Make the governor proud. Make the state proud. Make the youths proud. And create the platform and the atmosphere for others to come on board and grow. So afterwards, we can now start thinking of personal gains.
And that is where I would come to ask you, as handsome as you are, well-renowned, blessed with money as it is right now, because you're not lucky, you're not an average man anymore. What is holding you? You have been tagged one of the most eligible bachelors in the city of Port Harcourt and Nigeria.
That word eligible,
Hezekiah.
Is it a title?
It means that you are one of the most qualified bachelors right now. So what is holding you?
Nothing is holding me, trust me. Nothing is holding me. Nothing. Absolutely nothing is holding me. Just that when it comes to marriage and relationship, I keep telling, I have a lot of my friends that ask me this question always.
Yeah.
Oga, I go marry now. I will marry. When? Pretty soon.
Okay, and that's been a while. That pretty soon has been a while.
Yeah, you can say that. But do you know, when they, let me use this illustration, it may sound funny. It may sound tricky and it may sound like I'm shying away, but just reason with me. When they keep asking you, oh boy, where your motor? Where your motor? When you go buy motor? The day you want to buy motor, now he has a big accident, motor accident happen. You go reschedule. You go replan again. So that's what has been happening to most of, if I need to speak on behalf of my peers, marriage, the civilization we've always been praying for has come. We've embraced it. And it hasn't been favorable in some areas.
That's true.
Especially marriage. The aspect of man living his life with another woman, a woman living her life with another man, dreaming together, growing together, building a family together, has been blessed and ordained from the Bible.
Yeah.
But in our day today, in our society today, divorce is like, it's like a thing of, like, it's like they can easily stand before the crowd, host the mammoth crowd, the people, take the oaths and pray together, deceive the parents, and drive home and divorce and come back. Do you get? So it's more like what they see over there.
Yeah.
In the
cultural influence, Western cultural influence.
Yeah, Western cultural
influence.
So it has affected a lot. So we have people who tend to be very hypocritical a lot now, even in the church.
And I ask
the church
you,
where you go to say,
is it that you are afraid? Because you
guy, if you're me, no go afraid. If you're in my shoes, wouldn't you be afraid? Man, you don't have an excuse why you are not married. Some people will say, one man said, marry first. We will talk about, we read that bridge. We will talk whether I go divorce or not. I said, oh God, it is not. I started anchoring weddings from a teenage. Yeah. From my teenage experience. I know a lot about marriage. And I don't intend to get married and make a mess of the institution. I respect that institution a lot. I don't be married divorce. Okay. Even if my wife can't wish, I would never divorce. So, truth be told, for me, all this while, marriage wasn't a priority. Okay. It's been career, it's been dream. Like I explained to you, it sounds very simple, but what I've been fighting for is it's bigger than 10 of me put together. Okay. You know why? When at a point in time, the society now turned against my kind. They were not now. It was now like a culture I go I go into my closet always and I cry. I shed tears. I cry to God. I say, why? Because it was now like just the way the youth will ask you when you go marry. That's how people keep asking somebody, like when you make it to a point
Okay.
in Port Harcourt, they will now ask you, when did they go Lagos? Or boy, you never go Lagos.
But that's
So now it's more like, so now the city is like a springboard. So are you trying to say we can't, somebody or somehow, we can't make this city become the Lagos that you are pushing people to? Let's think about it. You know, so the fight, trying to convince, you can't convince everybody, but trying to convince the people has been the issue. So at that point, what time and what space do I have to think of? You know, it's very engaging to start a relationship, marry and all that.
Are you an emotional person?
Very, very emotional. Very, very, but I put up a strong
front.
Yes, you know, I'm very, very, so that's why I'm passionate about my city. No, don't tell me, I they fight people for Port Harcourt.
In spite of the fact that we feel that you've been dodging this question or giving us answers that are not what we intend to hear,
I'll get married.
I'll now ask you.
I'll get married.
I'll now ask you, Hezekiah. Made in Port Harcourt was successful.
Yeah.
Was huge. And it's a dream that was birthed and has come to stay. And I'm sure it's going to go global.
It is already good.
What is the future? What do you see? What is tomorrow like for Made in Port Harcourt? Or for you as a brand?
For me, I may diversify.
Okay.
I'll definitely evolve because I've been evolving, right? I found myself in an industry where, in a city of an industry where the generation that we expected to take us to the promised land did not grab it. They didn't do it.
At all.
So we are the ones fighting to do it. And we pray to do it. But I know the generations that will take over from us will definitely do greater than what we're doing. So I may diversify, but Made in Port Harcourt will never die. It will never die because it's a platform that has been created and the statement has been made and all eyes are now on that particular brand, you know, for more exposures, talent that platform will bring up. You know, it was the first time in Port Harcourt that we had an all Port Harcourt comics event, no Lagos act. And it was not only successful, it was 100% entertaining. You know, the kind of response that we got from the audience, thrilled, was the kind of response you get from a big comedy platform in Lagos.
Oh, wow.
That was the first time, you know, the persons that came for the event were calling in and they were telling us that, where you go get some of these boys from? All of them are Port Harcourt. Say, yes, then they are.
Wow.
So that's the statement we've been fighting to make. And we finally got there. So now it has started. It has begun. So it's global already. We're going to get an international tour where we'll keep preaching the particular message. But I, as an individual, like, don't forget I said I'm an actor. I dance. So I will diversify definitely.
Oh, that's true.
I'll do all that. I don't multitask myself.
No, okay.
Yes, that's why a lot of persons, yes, where they strike, where they throw stones at me, they don't know. Like the crocodile, you go use my body, do selfie, finish. But when I rise, you understand? Because as I tend to be a perfectionist. If I aim something, I must not miss my target. I must, and if I fail, I don't give up. I don't fall out.
Oh, wow.
I fail and I stand up, I dust.
And get up and
move
move
I ask
on.
myself, where did I go wrong? Come on, hit this thing again. So for that, Made in Port Harcourt is something that I see a government partnering with a platform in the nearest future.
That'll be nice. That'll be nice.
Because it's definitely not going to be Prince Hezekiah always. It's going to be a platform that the state should use to grow talent.
And market itself.
Because it is made in Port Harcourt. So if Prince Hezekiah is made in Port Harcourt, other talents should be made in Port Harcourt.
Oh, that's
So
lovely.
that's the dream.
That's lovely.
So
So from your experience, knowledge, acquisition in the comedy industry, and how you have positioned yourself, what will be your message to guide the young ones coming?
I've always said, be yourself. I've always, whenever they ask those questions, where do you see yourself in how many years? Be yourself. Be focused. A lot of our youths do things because James is doing.
Yeah.
Nkechi is doing. No, be yourself. If you are yourself, you will stand out. You know, a focused person do not get tossed by the wind or the tempest. If you're focused, you will discover that your craft will be your priority. It will be on your priority list.
Yes, that's true.
And you will fight to always guide your industry and your business. But once you are disfocused, once you are distracted, you always want to ask yourself questions like, work, it's talent. So first ask yourself, am I talented? Am I gifted? If yes, then be yourself. Be focused. Do research. Our youths don't do research anymore.
That's key.
They create history for themselves. Go ask questions. I'll tell you a very short example. I had a fight with someone during the NSAS issue.
Okay.
The protest. Why you no come out? I say, if everybody come out, now whoa, it's a protest. People who want to come out will come out. There are people who may not come out, but they are present. That day I granted an interview on 2 radio stations.
Okay.
From my pocket.
And that was part of your support to the NSAS protest.
I did my posting on social media. I must not come out because I know not just the government, I know the system.
Exactly.
What I read during history from social women, about women riot and all that. And if you know history, you get sense. Say, these people, they no send you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful episode with the prince himself, the prince of the Nigerian comedy industry, the creator and founder of the Made in Port Harcourt brand. Time would not permit us to say all that he has to deliver, but then we will need you to follow the prince everywhere. Can you tell our audience your media handles where they can follow you so that they can...
My Instagram handle is @PrinceHezekiah. @PrinceHezekiah. That's my Instagram handle. My Twitter is @IPrinceHezekiah. IPrinceHezekiah. And my Facebook is just Prince Hezekiah.
Thank you very much, Prince Hezekiah.
It
was a wonderful one having you on session.
I'm loyal, sir.
Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah.
God bless you.
I'm loyal.